Hey there, hope everybody's having a nice night. I'm submitting video 3 discussion. So from the show As We See It, which I ended up almost finishing, but I'm not done yet. I'm in episode 4 right now, so it was pretty interesting to watch. And for the character that I selected Jack. And for the two different arguments, the first argument is when Jack goes with his father to his oncology appointment, but actually Jack shows up before his father gets there, and walks into the room, the filing room, where it's restricted access and walk-ins are not just allowed in there. And he starts looking for his dad's file. And then one of the nurses finds him and says, "Excuse me, what are you doing here?" And then they end up having an interesting back and forth exchange. And he tries to grab the file. He sees his dad's name in her hand and he tries to grab the file. And he yells, "My dad has cancer." And then the scene cuts to the argument between Jack, his father, and then the oncologist doctor. They're having a discussion about potential, like treatment game plans. And Jack is very intently focused on the specific questions that he has researched and come and brought to the office with. And the conversation does not really go well on the end for anybody, really. It's the setting, they're in the office. The personalities of the parties involved. Jack's father is emotionally distraught, just trying to deal with his diagnosis, but also trying to help Jack deal with him finding out about his diagnosis as well. And Jack is struggling himself because he has these questions that specific information that needs to get answered, and if it's not going to get answered, it's going to grind in his mind over and over and over again. And then the doctor, the oncologist, is trying to explain all the information, but Jack is intent on asking the questions, and the doctor is not intent on helping them to answer him. He's cutting him off. And the relationship, Jack's father ends up asking him to leave right now, and he leaves and storms out, goes outside, and he's sitting outside. Actually, he's pacing back and forth outside, with high anxiety. And then the nurse that he had ran into earlier in the filing room comes outside and says, "What's wrong?" And he explains to her how not having certain information triggers a lot of high anxiety for him, and this talks about his father with her. And she introduces herself to him, and they end up having a totally different type of conversation and argument. Not an argument, but like a philosophical discussion. He says, "I think that you're rude. I thought that you were rude when I first met you, but you also care." And she looked at him and said, "Same." So it was an interesting dynamic right there. And then the last argument I wanted to highlight at the end of the episode is when Jack is sitting in the car with his father, and they're having a discussion about his cancer, and Jack ends up saying, I'm here for you, Dad. I'm your advocate. I'm here for you." And Jack's father ends up tearing up and saying, "I'm the one that's supposed to be there for you." So as you can see, perspectives are the dynamic, the relationship has the roles switched. Now his father is realizing that he's going to need help from his own son, even though he's been helping, and helping with his son a lot in his life. He's going to have to switch that role. And I thought that the relationship dynamic between, I forget the nurse's name. It started with an E. Between the nurse and Jack, and then Jack and his father in that episode, it was like a duel, and I really liked that, how that branched off and showed how both parties had a heated argument, but also through the argument they were able to break through layers and see others and look past and see one another's perspectives. So it was a really interesting episode and show overall, and I'm gonna finish it tonight. All right, so thanks for watching and have a great night. All right, bye.